So I've been living in a van for the past few days, and it's been interesting. Um, it's fun. It's definitely fun. There's a lot of freedom to it. I do love the connection with nature, the expansiveness of it. But I do feel like this car is too small. I feel like I really need, like, for me, I feel like I really need more space to exist in. Like, even though this is cozy in its own way, it's too cramped. Like, I really enjoy solitude and being by myself because I find it clears my energy really well. But it feels like at this point it's gotten, like, I feel like I'm too disconnected. Like, I'm completely removed from society right now. Like, maybe it's just a feeling I'll get over. But like, I really want to do Uber Eats, actually. That's a job, because I've been just doing so much random stuff. I've never had a stable job for a long time. And I looked up jobs yesterday, and there were two I wanted to apply for. But then as I got to it, I'm like, no, this isn't me. This isn't you, Tian. You don't fit in with these people. This is you trying to fit in and make money, but you know you don't really belong here. Because I know I will make it as a content creator, like, really well, and as an actor, 100%. But I feel like there are aspects of myself that is unstable, that is not allowing myself for these things to grow. And I think doing Uber Eats would be, funnily enough, I know it might sound really silly, but it would be actually at the foundation of this whole project of my life. Or, really just having a job where I feel like I can be free and I can enjoy. Like a normal job, like a consistent, stable job, a reliable job. Something I can rely on. Because, I've justified it as, it's like, if I just full sent content creation, I'm sure I would actually make it and I don't need to do Uber Eats. But it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good if I do it that way. It feels like I'm like bypassing Earth to get into air and into ether. And I don't want to do that. It's like I want to master all the elements. I want to be diligent. Now I'm at a point, because I feel so weird and so different from other people, that like a normal job, I just feel like it would be too compromising for who I am, and it wouldn't be worth it. Because again, I'm in the situation of, like, not having much money. Like, despite doing a theater show, making a lot of money from that, I feel like I feel like money, again, it's such an internal thing. Like, if you don't cultivate your internal stability, it just goes away. And now I think I have like about $1,000 in the bank, which actually is enough to set up the whole Uber Eats thing, like, just enough. God, I feel so ashamed of always being so financially irresponsible, perhaps, like, too YOLO. I'm afraid if I stay with people again, I'm not able to retain my sense of self. That's my biggest fear, actually. That's why I avoid people, because I feel like I don't have very good boundaries, you could say. And then every time I lose myself to do other things, it always feels like a waste of time. Like, what's the point of it's like, it's a living a false life, and I want to be true. I want to be it always comes back to this. Like, I want to be true, but I want to connect with others as well. It was the aspect of, like, okay, I want to make sure I get what I deserve, so I'm going to be really adamant about getting what I want. But then I think a part of me was like, I think what my heart really wanted wasn't really what my ego was trying to place on a pedestal. Like, it wasn't that luxurious. But I kept trying to send that vision. Like, even though I had a choice where my heart felt like, ooh, this would be really exciting and I want to do this, my mind was like, no, this is beneath you. You should get something better. And so I kept trying to look for something better, and I ended up here. And the feeling my heart got from this actually was weaker, and it really felt uncomfortable, actually, compared to the other feeling that I had. But my mind was like, no, this makes more sense. This meets the requirements that maybe you need. Like, even talking to you about the requirements, it doesn't really matter. These are mental conceptions of what we think we need. But what you really need, I think your heart always knows. So every time, you have a decision, You can always feel if you want to do this or not. Like, even if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't actually matter if it makes sense or not. Like, logic really makes no fucking... Logic really makes no fucking impact at the end of the day. Like, your heart and your feelings, your soul is so much bigger than that, always. It really is. But then because it's in the past, like, I felt like I didn't know what I deserved, so I kept shooting for the minimum thing that my heart actually didn't want. You know, the overly cheap thing that didn't want. So this time I'm like, no, make sure you get what you do want. Make sure you get what you do deserve. But then I think I elevated that to too much of an extent, and I overshot it. The other direction. So I want to find the humble middle, the humble, true middle. It's like you're not... I mean, those are some of the noises I often make. When I talk, like, when I talk to the camera, when emotions come up. I normally cut out in a video because I feel like it's too weird. But these I feel like I'm a crazy person, you know? I can't expose this part of me to the world. But that's really who I am. Like, I've gotten this crazy, I feel like. This mad. But at the same time, I feel like the only way to overcome it is to actually own up to it and expose myself. Like, even if I get locked up in an asylum, because I am actually insane. So be it.